Welcome to this channel. So in the past few weeks, I have shared on breathing. We must use VO2 max as an indicator to know our fitness level. Qi is not what common traditional Chinese martial arts or internal art people talk about. And concept and techniques really mean nothing if one do not know the momentum and the breathing. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this is because we need to know that the ancient 1850s Wing Chun in the Red Boat era is much more deep than most people today think what Wing Chun is. And the ancient Wing Chun can be mapped into today's sports science and provide us to know even more what is going on and be able to make use of today's science and technology to uh, improve the effectiveness of training. So that is my agenda because this is an education channel. The purpose is so that everybody be able to do it. And it is not about promoting which lineage or who is the grandmaster, or putting down who is the grandmaster, or belittle who is no good. However, those belittle, keeping comparing lineage and praise the grandmaster like godlike type of ideas or mentality. It is really firm grabbing in many of today's Wingchunners' mind. And of course, those type of stuff is trapping them. With those kind of mentality, one will not be able to see what is reality. So, there are many Wing Chun friends message me, and many is challenging me, saying that, about this VO2 max, this internal, this chi, uh, all sort of stuff. And I told them I'm going to make a YouTube to share with you what is the basic of so-called internal Kung Fu, so that everybody in the world know what is the internal Kung Fu of Wing Chun, instead of debating on things one have no clue what it is, and one have not developed it and have not confirmed it. So today I like to share with you, very basic, the internal art of Wing Chun. Now, I'm sure most of you will not know what I'm presenting today. And not knowing is not a problem. The key of these presentations is so that you know after you see this, and you know what need to be developed. Do not take it like, oh, I don't know, so I resist on it, or I denial on it. Well, if you take that kind of mentality, you're going to screw yourself. Many people, when I discuss with them in the web. When they don't know, they'll start with their, oh, that's your lineage. Our lineage do it differently. Well, there's a case of that. So we want to have an open-minded to face the reality. We need to kiss goodbye on those type of mentality. My grandmaster know it, my lineage know it, yet those are just defending based on alibi. And really, because one don't know it and one do not have the courage to uh, really admit it and learn. What's wrong with not knowing? I don't know a lot of things, and that's why we learn. That is the bottom line, is keeping learning. So today I'd like to share with you where in the past 160 years at least, nobody make it clear in public for you on Wing Chun, on the internal training of Wing Chun. Now, Xiu Lim Tao said, the first part of the Xiu Lim Tao set, if you just take the first part of the Xiu Lim Tao set of 1850, Xiu Lim Tao sets have four parts. The first part of Xiu Lim Tao set is the functional training and all kinds of the core training. Okay, so there's the first part, and of course the part 2, part 3, part 4 is based on that first part. So today I want to share with you, even just in this first part, there is internal training there, internal Kung Fu. Okay? Now, for those of you who have my book, The Wing Chun Inception, what I'm sharing with you, you can look at this book so that you can be more clear now, and then also uh, you can read the classical writing of 1850, and you can have more understanding what is going on. In this book, I present the basic. There are still one more thing which is in breathing or internal I didn't present, which is come in my next book, Wing Chun Breathwork. Now, so the part 1 of Xiu Lim Tao evolved in today's 1960s so-called Xiu Lim Tao. Okay? The part 1 of the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao evolved to today's Xiu Lim Tao as a set. In the 1850s Xiu Lim Tao part 1, there is internal training, real deal Qigong breathing training, real deal, okay? And sure, I tell you real deal. You say, well, what the heck are you talking about? Everybody is saying they are real deal. That's why I'm going to share with you details by details why it is a real deal. Now, Wing Chun is from Shaolin, we like it or not. It's not from Wudang, Taiji, internal art, those kind of things. So we leave them alone. We want to know what is the real Shaolin teaching. We know the real Shaolin teaching is based on General Qi Shi Guang of Ming military. Anybody who want to see why it is by evidence, history, details, read my book, Kung Fu 1560. So this is a clean, okay? It need to be clean this way. It's like if we want to tell somebody that we belong to this last name, we can tell our father, our grandfather, and tell that where is our grandfather is from, even though we are in America, or our grandfather is from Netherlands, our grandfather is from Germany. or our grandfather is from Norway, or our grandfather is from China. We need to be able to have the clean family trees down, or else what are we talking about? And of course, this all has to be trackable. That's why in America today, you see many people track their ancestor, their family trees. Now, after this tracking, let's get into the technical core of it. So, in any Shaolin, the real authentic Shaolin martial arts, in a martial art practice, one has to install the breathing, or it's called 装气, install the breathing. So there's a saying that disregard of how wonderful your techniques, if you don't have that breathing developed, it is useless. I'm not saying that. It is Shaolin saying, okay? Ancient Shaolin saying. Now, so that's the reality. There's another Shaolin saying that your strength, exertion, will not stable if you don't have a stable breathing handling. Okay? So you want to exert power, strike, you need a stable breathing handling. That's the bottom line. Now, on this install the chi, there are three levels there. In my previous video, I shared that it is the breathing pathway, the soft qigong and hard qigong. And today, I get into more detail for you in the Xiu Lim Tao Part 1 of 1850. And of course, it has to follow the classic, the writing. I'm not saying anything I create. It is what it is. Okay? Now, in order to install breathing, one first need to be able to nurture qi, to nurture the energy. Okay? To nurture the qi, the energy, like the Chinese talk about that qi, the energy, one need to get into a type of breathing, which is of course based on your dantian breathing, or you have a proper breathing pathway, so you can go nurture qi. So where is it in the Xiu Lim Tao set part 1? Well, at the beginning, when you stand up there, that is the state of nurture qi. That's why in Wing Chun Inception, I present that there's the nurture qi. Okay, now you get in the state of the nurturing your qi. That breathing, the pathway is proper, and you're using the dantian breathing, and you can get deeper, so forth, so forth. That's nurture qi, the first thing of installing the qi for your martial arts. The second is called transportations of qi. Transportation of qi. And that require a breathing which is based on, again, the proper handling of the qi pathway, or based on the dantian breathing. The difference between the nurture qi is nurture qi do not load your internal organs. In the transportation of qi, you start to loading your internal organs. So in the Xiu Lim Tao set, in the Xiu Tao Part 1 sets, we just now saying that, oh, this is the nurture qi, the standing before the set starts and so forth. So where is this the transportation of qi with this breathing practice within that Xiu Tao sets? Well, everybody know about it. It is the Sambai Fat part. Your breathing, inhale, exhale, synchronize with your movement and your body. That is the the transportation of qi part of the installing of the breathing. And the breathing is synchronized with the body movement and also synchronized with the meridians. If you read my Wing Chun Inception, you will see that I already shared the details there on the synchronizations. Now, that is the example of nurture qi. The transportation of qi. The practice of transportation of qi, it is in a low speed. The idea is to transport the energy, or another word, to synchronize the entire body with the breathing. Okay? Now, this is a transportation, and of course, these all are transportation of qi. This part of the Xiu Tao. Okay? The other day, I'm talking about the opening, close, those kind of things. Those are transportation of qi. Practice it slowly so that you'll be able to synchronize, like again in the Wing Chun Inception book, all the synchronization. That's the second part. So, the third part is called using of qi or using of the breathing. Well, that is the part of, if you look into the Xiu Tao, Part 1, 1850, that is the part. Okay? So when one do this, this is a transportation of qi. Because I do it gradually and synchronize everything. But there's another part, the third part. After one fluent with this transportation of qi, or transportation of breathing body synchronization, it is this. This is fast already. So this is the applications or applying the qi or applying the breathing. So the Chinese is when they talk about qi, you need to know that the breathing is always there. So over here, you just let go, let it be. That's nurture qi. The transportation of qi is synchronizations with your breathing and so forth. When you get to the application or applying the qi, the breathing is sharp and fast because you need to exert force now. Three parts. Anybody who practice the Xiu Tao properly, the part 1, even the part 1, will need to be able to handle this three part of breathing handling. Okay? And as the transportation of qi, you see that my body move with it because everything have to move. As for the nurture of qi, the body like float in the sky And for the application of qi is based on this, and then you go very high speed, you exert the force. This is internal kung fu, three type and also three levels. And after one master this, then one get to different level. The more one practice it, one raise one's level on handling these three types of breathing handling. Only with this, be able to handle the nurture qi, the transportation of qi, and then the applying of the qi or applying of the breathing. One can say one have learned the internal kung fu of Xu Lim Tao 1850 Part 1. And of course, after this, you keeping develop. But one need to go gradually, step by step, not jumping and end up you screw up the entire body. That's called suicide. So, if you look at this, there is no such thing as you standing in a pigeon toe stance and those kind of stuff. And there's no such thing as you hold this in your sampai fat really, really hard. The minute you hold your heart very hard, your body it break down between your arm and your hand. If you hold that hard, so that's why you go this way, not this way. When you do this way, this part break out from that, and your breathing will not be able to handle properly in the transportations. And if you want to have the application, you have to be all this fluent, like all your engine is loop before you want to run 100 miles per hour for your car to speed up, to accelerate up. So this is reality. So do we want to talk about concept, techniques, internal, this power, that power without having this? You look at past 100 years, Chinese Kung Fu is in a really, really bad shape now. It's no longer follow what is the teaching of the past. People keep creating their stuff. Now, for these three, or the breathing installations in the body of the Xu Lim Tao set part 1. In today's language, we know that the breathing pathway is actually train one to be able to properly breathe with the diaphragm and the pelvic floor muscle. And with that, one increase one's lung volume, the lung intake, compared with just the chest breathing. The second thing is very important is your intra stomach pressure, intra-abdomen pressure. Yeah, intra-abdomen pressure. You need to train that. And that is where the proper breathing pathway is doing. You develop your optimized lung capacity. You have the handling on your intra-abdomen pressure. So the body is like a cylinder. So when you want to take heat, your body is like cylinder, you can take heat. And of course, not to take bullets because the bullets will penetrate your body. So the anti-impact, you need to be able to handle your intra abdominal pressure. Okay? Now, that breathing pathway is not going to be like you see people have this big stomach, uh, inhale, big tummy, and they say, well, this is Qigong. And it's not also it's not something like that. Where you put your spine behind there, tucking your tailbone, all those kind of stuff. Just a very simple scientific way of looking at this is like looking at those weightlifter when they do a squat. Can they do it with those spine power, tucking tailbone? Can they do that? How is their intra-abdominal pressure? Will that cause them to get hernia when they exert force? Scientific. So if the Shilintao training do not have the cylinder develop, the lung capacity, improvement because it's no longer your chest breathing only, what are you develop? What is internal? And yet, this internal, 150 years ago, 160 years ago, today is no longer internal. Those who know sports science know how to handle this breathing, how to develop the respiratory muscle, how to handle this intra-abdominal pressure so that it doesn't burst and cause your hernia and so forth. Today is a common thing in sports science. Now, the problem come is people keeping guessing what is the ancient do. Well, they have no idea. And they was thinking, oh, the ancient is really, really, really advanced. They don't know what they developed there. The reason why they do not know, they do not be able to clearly think because they never developed that. They don't know what it is. Anybody who developed the Energy Chi, the transportation, and the application of Qi in the Tao Part 1, 1850, they will have a better VO2 max than normal people who just have a chest breathing. They will have a better intra abdominal pressure handling as normal people who are not trained. Because this is an education to train. It's like today to go to sport, the fitness for the proper practice. So this is a reality. So why argue on internal art? Why argue on concept techniques when one don't even know? As the Shaolin said, if your breathing is not stable, your strength will not be stable. And breathing stable meaning that your lung capacity, which is your VO2 max, and also your intra abdominal pressure. And of course, if you train that three level in the Shilintao 1850 Part 1, you go through the nurture Qi, transportation of Qi, and application Qi. Your respiratory muscle, of course, is trained there because all those things, didn't you train that? Didn't all those train the cylinder? Then this is the breathing and the internal intra abdominal pressure. See how I do it? Okay, you see all this pelvic floor and the entire body, right? Okay. I better don't look at you guys so I be able to practice it. Look at how it handle. This is making your body a cylinder. It's not like this, and then you try to do all this thing, and all this thing. Can your body take impact if you do that instead of the see the body like a cylinder? Today's sports science have this already. Today's our MMA friend, our Olympic judoka, they develop this kind of stuff. So are we going to change? Are we going to move on? We're going to learn and proceed checking our VO2 max? Or we keeping living in fantasy? So the other day I told a friend, I said, whatever internal you told me about this, your secret and this and that is not more than this. This is a breathing trainer called power lung, okay, for the inhale, exhale. Proper respiratory respiratory muscle training. So I say that all your internal training is not worth it to get a power lung. So what kung fu? You buy this thing is about hundred something dollars and you practice it according to the power lung practice and you develop that. The at least the respiratory muscle, you develop that for your inhale, exhale. You can you increase your lung capacity. It's going to help you to get your to increase your VO2 max or improve your VO2 max, and then you know your internal intra abdominal pressure and so forth. So it get to this bad already. Are we going to sitting down around and then still get eating some dim sum and then drink some tea and BS everybody? Like I praise you as grandmaster, you praise me as grandmaster, pat each other's back. Or we look into the world, say, hey, come on, the world have changed. Even though 160 years ago we have high tech, but we lost the time. We stand idle for 160 years. And if we don't today get it back, scientific, the entire thing, and move on, we just get obsolete. Yeah, obsolete. Now, as I look at it, we are still lucky. At least now we know, oh yeah, we can do this. This is what the ancestors say. This is what the Western sports science says today. Okay, now I can do it. Okay, now we re-evoke the entire thing, reactivate the everything, so every Wing Chunners can have it. Everyone. Stop talking about lineage. When you don't even have the soul, the gut of the art, what lineage we have? What do we have? For me, I'm easy. I don't need the Wing Chun lineage or any title. I just drop the entire thing. I go to the Western sports science, the MMA, the Kyokushin. I'm a Kyokushin member anyway. I just drop the entire thing. I won't tell you what I'm telling you today. I just move on. Why do I want to tell you guys? Why do I want to get this burden put here and saying that, hey, it's better that everybody know? So this is what it is. You want the truth? This is what the truth. So are we going to change or are we not going to change? So for me, my proposal to those of us Wingchunners, brother and sister in America, in Europe, and in all around the world who speak English is very simple. Follow the sport science, or else we don't have the future. And for whoever want to go their path the same as usual, well, everybody have their freedom, right? I mean, like their religion, they can do whatever religion they want. But for us who really want to get something, want to learn something, want to train something, we need to be able to quantize the thing, and that's why I said everybody, no excuse, check the VO2 max. If you are in the poor VO2 max, time to even go running is good. Or don't run, just walk if you're poor VO2 max. Follow the way how the modern sports science think. You want to train momentum, then it has to be average or above. You want to train in the full contact sparring, then it has to be in the range of good or excellent, or else your cardiorespiratory system cannot take it. That is a reality. So this is what I'd like to share with you today. Okay, some might hate me, look like I'm a destroyer to tear apart everything. Some might like me because without tearing all this apart, one cannot rebuild. Well, that is up to everybody, but I am just doing my job to tell those who like to hear the reality. This is the reality. Let's move on, or else we don't have future.